Capital News tonight. President Dr. Magufuli adds 20 days to biometric SIM card registration exercise. Rain kills 3 people, bridge swept away by water in Mara. And in sports, Tanzania Prisons loses to Yanga 1-0. Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, has extended the biometric voters registration exercise by 20 more days from January 1st to 20th, 2020 for those who will not be able to complete registration by 31st December as announced by TCRA for various reasons, including illness or completing the process of getting the national identification card. Now, the President said this today when registering his SIM card biometrically, where he also urged Tanzanians to ensure that they do so as well, because no more time will be added beyond January 20th.
Wamesajili watu wengi.
Wamesajili watu wengi kwa kupitia namba NIDA. Kwa maana watu wanatekeleza.
Wamesajili kama wangapi?
Kwa mwezi huu, mwezi wa 12, idadi ya watu waliosajili ni watu 24. Japo kuna watu wengine ambao walikuja
24.
Ndio.
24 tu ndio wamesajili hapa.
Ndio, kuna wengine wamekamilisha, kuna wengine wanakuja kuchukua laini mpya. Ndio.
Lakini kwa wale wa Tanzania ambao wengine walikuwa wamelazwa,
there are those who could be ill and others out celebrating, who forgot to go and get registered. And there are those who did not understand the need to get registered. Maybe through this message, they will now understand. I've added 20 more days from January 1st to 20th of January. Those who will not have been registered by then, as TCRA and all relevant people, to cut off communication. Let's wait and see how now they are going to communicate. Honorable President, I have something that I would like to talk about, not related to mobile phone numbers registration. I'm here to commend you. I've come from Mara and came to Chato. I was eager to meet you someday and commend you for the excellent work that you're doing. You have done so much for us. Tanzania is wealthy. Your honor will never be lost.
Now, 3 people, among them 2 children from one family, have died after the wall of a house collapsed on them while they were sleeping, and 1 person was swept away by floods following the heavy ongoing rains in Misenyi, Ward, Serengeti District, Mara region.
When I arrived at the scene, the house had collapsed. So I called out, and one of the survivors shouted for help. So when I looked further, I noticed that some occupants had been covered with sand. A lot of water flooded the house, which, as a result, the walls collapsed on 2 children. A 17-year-old was also carried in the water, and he was found this morning.
As this was ongoing, the Isenyi Bridge collapsed, causing passengers to get stranded for some hours, hindering pedestrians from crossing and causing roads in the village to flood.
The first bridge had collapsed, but surprisingly, when we got here, this bridge too had been washed away. We need help. We've been traveling since 6 a.m. to go see our relatives, some of whom are sick. As you can see, there is a break of communication. It is important that a tarmac road is constructed for tourist use as well as for the economic development of this area.
Minister of Health, Community Development, Gender, Early and Children, Umi Mwalimu, has directed public hospitals to implement the directive not to charge pregnant women for medical services related to their pregnancies after receiving complaints from some expecting mothers who were charged treatment fees at Mwananyamala Referral Hospital.
Lakini changamoto kubwa ambayo nimeiona na sijafurahishwa nayo, na hii medical officer in charge inabidi niseme.
One major challenge that I've taken note of is expectant mothers are charged for delivery. Ministry of Health policies clearly stipulates that care for expectant mothers is free of charge. So is care for children under 5. For Mwananyamala, I've met people complaining that they've been asked to contribute. However, if you come without a referral, then you will pay for penalty. I've met an expectant mother from Goba, and when we checked her file, there is no indication of danger, meaning she can deliver without having to come to Mwananyamala. Mwananyamala Hospital gives excellent patient care. This is why a lot of patients flock here. We have more than 22 specialist doctors, and as a hospital, we would like to retain them so they don't go and practice in other areas.
Communication between Mbeya and Tabora has been broken after the bridge at River Lupa, which joins Makongorosi and Chunya town, was destroyed, causing some pedestrians who tried to cross to lose their lives by being swept away by water, something that has forced the government to close off the bridge for 2 weeks.
Vehicles cannot cross this bridge. It is dangerous, and that is why we have decided to close it for 2 weeks. There's an alternative road in Mkwajuni, which is about 16 kilometers from Makongoros to Mbeya. Without taking drastic measures, people will continue to die. This is the main road that we all depend on for our needs. I'm trying to imagine when emergencies occur, where are we going to pass through? This is the easiest route to go to other areas. The most important thing is for the government to call for more effort in renovating the bridge instead of closing it. I'm sure the government will not be able to guard this area for people not to cross over, because regardless of the announcement given by the regional commissioner, people will still pass through. I'm calling on the government to reduce the time frame of closing the bridge. 14 days are a lot.
The coal production project at Marini Village, Nyasa District, Ruvuma region that is being conducted by a local investment company, God Mwanga Gems, has been mentioned as the best coal to ever be mined, something that has increased the value of coal in various factories in and out of the country.
We are commending our president for construction of roads. Right now, it only takes 1 day to reach Masasi, whereby before it took 3 days. With the launch of this port, there shall be more movement of crossing over to neighboring countries like Malawi and Mozambique. I call on women with capital to come here. There are different opportunities. I came from Ruwiko to do business since the environment is economically favorable.
The government of Tanzania has signed a 4.2 billion shillings aid agreement with the government of Japan, money that will be used to revive the fisheries organization Tafico, which stopped functioning in 1998. The agreement was signed by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Dr. James, and Acting Deputy Ambassador of Japan to Tanzania, Katsutoshi Takeda, at the Treasury Office in Dar es Salaam.
Kupitia mkataba tuliosaini leo, serikali ya Japan
As per the contract signed today, the government of Japan will give 200 million yen, equivalent to Tanzanian shillings 4.2 billion, towards the implementation of this project. Let it be understood that this is a grant and not a loan. On behalf of the government of the United Republic of Tanzania, I would like to thank you, Mr. Takeda, and through you, to show our appreciation to the government of Japan for this aid, which has come at a time where the government is in the process of reviving Tanzania Tafiko. I would also like to commend the President of United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. John Magufuli, for his effort and guidance in ensuring that this contract is signed today.
Lakini baadhi ya mali zilikuwa zimechukuliwa na halmashauri na zingine watu binafsi walizichukua.
It will be returned back to the ministry, although some assets were taken by the municipal council and some by individuals, which processes are in place to return them.
A 7-year-old child, Mareni Namsukuma, has passed away, and 30 others, all residents of Utengule village, Nambwinkoswe ward in Kalambo district, Rukwa region, are still receiving treatment from Kalembe clinic after eating meat from the body of a pig that had already died.
Officers in charge of livestock live far from the village. It will be better if they were assigned near the village so they can test carcasses. You to be very careful. Meat must be tasted first before consumption. We must form a habit of going to the hospital. If you feel ill, you must go straight there.
And the Deputy Minister of Natural Resources, Constantine Kanyasu, has directed defense and safety organs in Tabora to take immediate action to stop crimes being committed by residents of areas living near Isawima Forest Reserve in Kaliua district by attacking and causing the death of 2 officers who are protecting the reserve.
I have reliable information which indicates that livestock keepers' conflict is never ended because livestock keepers' chair, who is pushing them to graze in reserve areas, believes that the ministry will change the borderlines and eventually allow them to graze there. So this conflict is made worse by livestock keepers' leadership. Then the guard, whose job is to stop them from cutting down trees or grazing their livestock in the reserve, is killed. We are pushing for the law to allow ownership of weapons used by criminals. This has been presented in the Regional Peace and Security Committee, which is run legally. The government is also working on it. There has been an increase in encroachment cases caused by the people not knowing which areas are protected. What we are doing now is to raise awareness.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. And in international news, 9 people have died in a road accident at Nangili area west of Kenya. 3 of them died on the spot, while 6 others died after being taken to the hospital.
The accident occurred after 2 minibuses, Sangtia Safari and Kangaroo, which were carrying ship, had a head-on collision. Kangaroo was trying to overtake the bus while on high speed with this thick road at the bridge. The man who died was my driver. Honestly, this road is horrible for users. Several accidents have been occurring frequently.
Njia imeleta mikosi kila siku
This road is bad luck every day. Since I started living in this neighborhood, this is the 5th accident I have witnessed, with many people dying.
Now, following the death of 12 people that occurred on Christmas night after heavy rains fell that also destroyed over 100 houses, the country's meteorology agency has reminded all people living in dangerous areas to move, as there will be more heavy rains in the coming days.
The rain lasted for almost 6 hours, leaving many people in the city without shelter. There is one house that fell over, a woman and her child who died on the spot. In the coming 3 days, we are expecting rains which will not be as heavy as the ones that passed, but people should continue taking precautions.
And that is all for international news. Let's take a short break. We'll be back with business news.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. Small-scale gold miners in the country have asked the government to give them areas that have been abandoned so that they can mine for gold and stop interference between them and large-scale miners, as well as reduce conflict.
There are still some challenges in Matimba, Busiku, Buhororo, among others, which are not worked on by responsible people. If it was within my power, I could have taken a 2020 general election budget and invested it in the mining sector. We want to break the record again with the amount of money we're paying for tax. Tanzanians don't need anything more than good growth of our economy. With the brokers that I see here, none of you are capable of having less than 100 million shillings. Just give these brokers minerals export permits. They are capable of handling such business throughout the country and even beyond our borders.
And residents at Nangaru Sabablindi region dealing with coconut farming have asked the government to help motivate farmers to start using better quality coconut seeds so as to increase production. We do benefit from this crop, although to us youth, we're enjoying the work done by our parents. That is why I'm calling on the government to sensitize young men and women to be involved in coconut farming. If certain things will be improved, then developments will be attained in high speed. Things like roads and other important services should be prioritized in these areas so as to attract business and investments. And that is all from the business news desk. Sports news follows shortly.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. position, Joaquinho. He did lose to Lendl.
And in sports news, the Premier League has continued at Samora Stadium in Iringa, with host Tanzania Prisons losing to Yanga 1-0. Now moving on, the national beach soccer team has won the Copa Dar es Salaam Championships that involved East African nations, with the organizing committee pledging a much better competition next year.
After Copa Dar es Salaam, we will have finalized the 2019 season. We'll start the league early next year. In February, the league will start, and then other programs will take place as per the federation plans. We expect the new seasons to have many more competitions compared to this one, where we had the league and Copa Dar es Salaam only. Next year, we will have many more competitions, as well as spreading the sport to other regions, not just Dar es Salaam.
Pep Guardiola says finding a striker to fill irreplaceable club record scorer Sergio Aguero's role at Manchester City will be one of the biggest challenges.
The City manager has not given up hope that the 31-year-old, who has hit 244 goals for the club, will remain beyond the end of his contract in 2021. It is anticipated Aguero will return to Argentina whenever he does leave City. He can stay, but it depends on his physical condition and his desire, said Guardiola. The Argentina forward, who has scored 13 times for City this season, arrived from Atletico Madrid for £38 million in 2011.
Former Sweden and Manchester United striker Zlatan Ibrahimovic is in talks to return to AC Milan. Here are more details.
It is understood there are other clubs interested in the 38-year-old, a free agent after leaving LA Galaxy at the end of the Major League Soccer season. However, confidence is growing in Italy that the striker will rejoin Milan, where he spent 2 seasons from 2010, scoring 42 goals in 61 league outings. Milan are without a major trophy since their 18th Italian title in 2011. The 7-time European champions are enduring a miserable season, sitting 11th in Serie A with 21 points from 17 games.
Carlo Ancelotti made a winning start as Everton manager as his side edged past Burnley at a packed and passionate Goodison Park. Here's the report.
The 60-year-old Italian, who won the Premier League and FA Cup double as Chelsea boss in 2009-2010, took over at Everton last week and received a fantastic reception from the home fans. Burnley, after 2 successive wins, nearly scored inside 3 minutes, but Jay Rodriguez's header was cleared off the line by Yerry Mina. Away goalkeeper Nick Pope did excellently to keep out Mason Holgate's close-range shot, and also a later effort from Jibril Sidibe.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.